Ditch, and I have been with the Mash House for 6 years. I have one site, one 3,600 head site, and we've actually been raising pigs here on this farm since 1950 when my grandfather started raising pigs. I remember as a kid helping my dad the 90s and early 2000s. We did actually did fail to finish until 96, and then in 96 we got a farrowing business and did some small custom feeding for a local guy here. And in about 2012, my dad was wanting to get out of the pig business, and I was wanting to get on the farm full time, and so that's when I contacted the Mash Offs and started working with their business development team on potentially putting up a site to help get me on the farm full time, or at least closer to full time. That was a long 2-year process, but in 2014 of June, we stocked our barn with our first group of Mash Off pigs. I had to kind of coordinate everything with my dad as far as what he would allow. I didn't own any land. And so everything had to kind of be run by him as far as space allocation and those kinds of things. And he wasn't necessarily 100% on board with the whole idea. But we got him sat down with one of the business development guys and kind of went over everything. And it was probably a pretty good 2-3 hour long meeting, and kind of really made him feel comfortable with not only the company, but with the financial goals and targets that we were looking at as well. And then on top of that, once we actually got a site and yeah, hey, this is what we're doing, we kind of had some troubles through the permitting process that were quite challenging, more so with our county than anything. But the nice thing was I wasn't on that on my own. I was working with Nick Fitzgerald at the time, the business development guy, and actually Samantha DeWitt, the agronomist, were basically every step of the way helping me through it. So it was a partnership before we ever even got the building up, because they kind of helped me through there. There wasn't hey, you have to go do this and then get back to us when you've done that part. They helped with every step of the process, walked me through it, explained what's going on, those kinds of things. So I wasn't completely lost. I knew what was happening and why it was happening, and so it's great to have that expertise there with you the whole time. We, not being in a larger scale finishing operation, we didn't really have many contacts into the kind of the integrator side to partner up with somebody. So we had reached out to a builder, and they put us in contact with the Mash Off. So we reached out to a couple of family friends that people reached out, and the reason why we stopped talking to everybody else and what the Mash Off were 2 reasons. When you meet with not just the business development people, but anybody from the Mash Offs, it's immediately apparent that it is not a them and us. It is a true partnership. And from the very first meeting I had with business development, or any communication via email, it was really set forward that, hey, this truly is a partnership, that we're both in this together, we're working through this together. So that was kind of one thing that initially drew me in. And then just the values, the financial security, those kinds of things that I learned later on in the process. I'd say after that first month of working with business development, everything I learned about the company from that forward just kind of basically put another notch in the belt, saying, yes, this is the right company to be with. They try to do everything they possibly can for the benefit of not only the company, but also the producers, and everything's looked at that way as a true partnership. And I've felt that way with every single person I've communicated with from the company. And that's just a good feeling. Like I said earlier, kind of business development, you never feel like you're on your own. You have problems with pigs, there's 2-3 people that come look at them. We can put a plan together. Like I said, everything's just a partnership through and through. Last year was actually a really cool year for us. So not only did we win the 2019 Environmental Steward Award from the Iowa Pork Producers, Also, earlier that year during the state fair, we won a environmental leadership award from the NRCS or the USDA. I can't remember exactly who. I think it might be the USDA. So that was one of the commitments. We went through our permitting process. It was kind of a huge blow to us to know that people in the community had this kind of reaction. Like I said, we've raised hogs here since 1950s and never had any kind of complaint or thought of any neighbor saying anything. So it was at that point that I made the decision that we were going to do those things for our environment, whether it be trees. We put a really cool odor control system, and we do some pit treatments. I mean, kind of do what we can that makes financial sense to make our environmental impact as least as we can. And the cool thing about it was, and they were 100% on board with everything and supported me. Like I said, it kind of the whole way through it, and it's just kind of led to a lot of cool things and a lot of cool opportunities for me to not only tell other producers and people in the community about what we're doing here, but also to plug in the mash offs with that too, because without their support and allowing me to do a lot of this stuff in the barn stuff, it just those kinds of things wouldn't have been possible. So the value of being a true partner and not being treated like I don't want to say employee, because employees are treated well too, but they're some integrators that you talked about, there's not really that relationship, and there's truly a relationship there. I was actually just on the phone last night with Sarah Stoutner. There's a site here probably 10 minutes north of me that was, I'm guessing, broke with some loose stools and some stuff like that with the pigs, and they were scrambling to find some Gen Guard and some rolled oats and those kinds of things. And unfortunately, I didn't have any here, but when I thought I did, I told Sarah, I was like, hey, you don't need to come get it. I'll run it up there. And I wouldn't do that just for anybody. The reason I do that is because, like I said, I feel like it's a partnership, and if I can help another site and help other people within the company, that's what we should do for each other. So I just think that's the big key for all of it is that I've never at any point felt abandoned or out here by myself doing my own thing. We've had this year, it seems like we've had multiple requests to do testimonials or video commercials or those kinds of things. It's really kind of a cool opportunity, like I said, for us to tell our story and let people know what we're doing out here as pork producers. So I'm willing to do this anytime, and like I said, because of the relationship I have with the mash offs,